Well, the countdown is on. Nebraska lawmakers have 9 days remaining in this year's 60-day legislative session.
State senators are still looking for ways to dig out of a multi-million-dollar budget hole. As John Chapman reports, some are very concerned about the damage the savings will cause.
More lower-income Nebraska families were able to put their children in child care when lawmakers expanded eligibility of the child care subsidy program, pushing qualifications up from 130% of the federal poverty level to 185%. Yesterday, lawmakers voted to take the number back down to 130%, making more families unqualified for the subsidy.
Child care subsidies are now removed at all. They're reverting to what they have been in statute. Just wanted to make that clear.
Owner of Crayon Castle Child Care Center, Jackie Casey, saw this coming last November and wrote to her representative warning of the danger of giving a subsidy to low-income families and then taking it away.
I thought it was a joke. I thought there was no way that they're going to take back something that was so necessary for society, for our families in Nebraska.
But it is not a joke, and there are members of the unicameral who are not laughing.
Your corporate welfare programs, your corporate tax cuts, your individual income tax cuts, and asking taxpayers to subsidize your businesses with child care and food stamps and health care and otherwise has got to stop.
Casey believes lawmakers don't understand how many families this could hurt and how many families will have to make tough decisions.
Well, they won't work. They can't work, or they'll find some substandard care for the kids. You know, the price of child care it's horrible. It's horribly, horribly high. You know, when you talk about having a family of 2 children and the child care bill is as much as their mortgage or their rent.
Casey says this budget cut will also hurt her child care center and centers across the state.
We'll lose kids, for sure. And I do have some new families that this particular bill did help. When they raised the minimum guideline, it helped a lot of families. I probably have maybe 3 or 4 families that I know for sure that this benefited.
Casey's letter in November warned lawmakers. Now she says if this eligibility reduction stays in the budget, the problems created could outweigh the savings.
We'll lose the families, they'll lose child care subsidies, the workforce will lose all around, we'll lose their employees, which they're hurting for anyway. So they need to think this through.
In Omaha, I'm John Chapman, First Alert 6.
The expanded eligibility of the state's child care subsidy program is set to expire October 1st. Nebraska state lawmakers will continue their budget debate on Monday. They're still more than $30 million away from finding fiscal balance.